What if your body were not just flesh, bones, and thoughts? What if everything you feel, think, and manifest were the result of invisible layers, subtle fields vibrating beyond matter? Why do emotions make the body ill? Why do mental patterns repeat themselves like a programmed destiny? And why did ancient civilizations speak of bodies of light, while the modern world insists on ignoring them? Perhaps what you call life is only the surface of something far greater. Today we cross the veil. The subtle fields, the invisible architecture of being. The human being is a multidimensional field of consciousness. The physical body is only the final, condensed layer of a complex energetic system. Traditionally, ancestral teachings describe 4 lower bodies, yet the deepest mysteries also include higher bodies, where consciousness expands beyond the ego. The main subtle bodies are physical body, etheric body, emotional body, mental body, Buddhic body, atmic body. Each one exists within its own frequency, its own dimension of perception. The 4 lower bodies, the vehicles of human experience. In Indian traditions, the lower bodies are known as kosas, veils of consciousness that allow the soul to experience matter. They are not illusions, but instruments. Suffering begins when the instrument believes it is the musician. Consciousness becomes identified with the vehicle and forgets the traveler. This forgetting is the root of human pain. Ancient esoteric teachings, especially Hermeticism, describe the human being as a microcosm reflecting the macrocosm. The 4 lower bodies correspond to the 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire. When these elements fall out of harmony, external reality mirrors inner chaos. Nothing is random, everything is resonance. In Spiritism, the lower bodies are understood as layers of the perispirit at different densities. The spirit uses these layers to learn, repair, and evolve. Every unresolved emotion leaves an imprint. Every repeated thought shapes the vibrational structure. Evolution is not moral, it is vibrational. Native cultures never separated body, emotion, and spirit. Illness was seen as soul loss. The lower bodies are not inferior because they are wrong, but because they are denser. They are the last to feel what has already gone out of balance in the invisible realms. Thus, the 4 lower bodies are the school of human experience. They are not meant to be denied or worshipped. They are meant to be harmonized, so consciousness can remember what it truly is. The physical body, the temple of density and memory. In all ancient traditions, the physical body was never seen as mere matter. In Indian philosophy, it corresponds to the Annamaya Kosha, the sheath formed by food, earth, and elemental substance. It is the most condensed expression of consciousness. What appears solid is only slowed vibration. The physical body is consciousness made visible. In esoteric teachings, the physical body is the final crystallization of subtler forces. Every posture, organ, and cellular structure mirrors an energetic pattern already established in the invisible realms. Nothing manifests in flesh without first existing as vibration. The body does not create reality, it reveals it. Matter is memory in form. Spiritism teaches that the physical body is a temporary garment used by the spirit for learning and repair. It is not punishment, but opportunity. Through the body, the spirit experiences limitation in order to develop discernment. Pain is not a curse, it is feedback. The body speaks when consciousness refuses to listen. Native cultures regarded the body as a living altar. Eating, walking, breathing, and resting were sacred acts. To disrespect the body was to disrespect the earth itself. Illness was not an enemy, but a message from nature and spirit. Healing required restoring harmony, not silencing symptoms. The physical body is the last to fall out of alignment and the last to be healed. When it collapses, imbalance has already traveled through all other subtle bodies. To care for the physical body is not vanity, it is reverence. It is honoring the final doorway through which the invisible becomes real. The etheric body, the weaver of life. In Indian tradition, the etheric body is sustained by prana, the universal life force. It flows through the nadis and concentrates in the chakras. When prana is obstructed, life loses its brightness. Before illness appears in the physical body, it has already formed in the etheric field. Spiritism teaches that the etheric body is an active layer of the perispirit, acting as an energetic blueprint. Disincarnate entities interact directly with this field, draining or distorting vitality. This is why spiritual hygiene has always been more important than external protection. In shamanism and native traditions, the etheric body is the skin of the soul. Drumming, chanting, and sacred plants reorganize this field. Sound is not symbolic, it is technological. It adjusts real frequencies. Esoteric teachings explain that the etheric body is highly sensitive to environments, people, and even unspoken thoughts. Dense environments weaken the life field. Silence, nature, and conscious intention restore coherence. To care for the etheric body is to care for the foundation of life. Without organized vital energy, no emotional, mental, or spiritual work can endure. The emotional body, the ocean of feeling forms. In Buddhism, suffering arises from attachment to sensations. The emotional body is where attachment takes shape most strongly. Emotions are not enemies, they are messengers. The problem begins when one identifies with the emotion and loses the position of the observer. In Indian philosophy, the emotional body corresponds to the Manomaya kosha. It stores emotional impressions called samskaras. Unresolved imprints carry across lifetimes, shaping automatic reactions. Emotion unexpressed becomes vibrational confinement. Spiritism recognizes that dense emotions create thought forms that attach to the perispirit. Hatred, guilt, and fear generate inner emotional entities. Many spiritual obsessions begin as personal emotional fixations. For native cultures, repressed emotion is stagnant energy. Crying, singing, dancing, and ritual expression were sacred forms of release. Modern civilization taught control, but forgot flow. Stagnant energy decays. When the emotional body is purified, the soul breathes again. Clarity returns, and the energetic field becomes fluid once more. The mental body, the architect of reality. The mental body, according to esoteric teachings, is the most powerful of the lower bodies. It creates forms before they become emotion, energy, and matter. Thinking is a creative act. Unconscious thinking is a destructive one. Indian traditions distinguish between the lower mind, manas, and higher mind, buddhi. Humanity operates almost exclusively from the lower mind, analytical, fragmented, reactive. This generates constant internal conflict. Spiritism teaches that thoughts are real waves that propagate in the spiritual field. To think is to emit. To repeat thoughts is to build vibrational pathways. The spirit inhabits the mental patterns it cultivates. Buddhism observes that an undisciplined mind generates suffering. Meditation is not emptying the mind, but clearly seeing its movements. Observation dissolves the tyranny of automatic thought. An impure mental body contaminates the emotional body. A silent mental body illuminates all others. The Buddhic body, the gateway of unity. The Buddhic body is known in Indian tradition as the field of direct wisdom. Here one does not think, one knows. It is the consciousness that perceives interconnection. Judgment dissolves, leaving only understanding. In Buddhism, this state is called Bodhi, awakening. It is not a distant mystical state, but a shift in perception. The separate self begins to dissolve. Compassion arises naturally. In esoteric Christianity, the Buddhic body is the Christ body. It belongs not to a religion, but to a state of consciousness. The kingdom of heaven is within you refers directly to this field. Native cultures accessed the Buddhic field through communion with nature. Forests, skies, and animals were not symbols. They were expressions of the same consciousness. When the Buddhic body awakens, life ceases to be a struggle. It becomes flow. The Atmic body, the eternal flame. In Vedic tradition, Atman is the immutable divine essence. The Atmic body neither begins nor ends. It witnesses all incarnations. It is the origin point of individual consciousness. Spiritism recognizes this field as the core of the spirit, where evolutionary purpose resides. Across many lifetimes, this spark remains untouched. Nothing can corrupt it. In esoteric teachings, the Atmic body is accessed only when the lower bodies are aligned. One does not reach Atman through desire, but through the surrender of ego. In Buddhism, although the concept of a personal soul is absent, there is recognition of primordial awareness beyond form. Absolute silence points toward this reality. To connect with the Atmic field is to remember, you are not the character, you are the source. Misalignment of the bodies, the origin of suffering. When the mind seeks control, the emotional body resists. When emotions dominate, the etheric body weakens. When the etheric collapses, the physical body falls ill. This sequence is universal, recognized across spiritual traditions. Spiritism observes that persistent imbalances carry across incarnations. The body forgets nothing. The energetic field holds deep memory. Native cultures called this being out of center. Healing was not about fighting symptoms, but restoring alignment. Buddhism calls this fundamental ignorance, forgetting the true nature of mind. All suffering arises from this forgetting. Aligning the bodies is not fixing something broken. It is remembering the natural order of being. Humanity's misuse of the four lower bodies. Humanity treats the physical body as an object, not a temple. The emotional body as a battlefield. The mental body as a weapon. And completely ignores the higher bodies. Ancestral knowledge was fragmented, discredited, or reduced to superstition. What was once sacred became symbolic. What was lived became belief. The creative power of the lower bodies was hijacked by unconsciousness. We think without presence, feel without understanding, act without alignment. All traditions warned, without consciousness, power becomes a prison. Without alignment, knowledge becomes illusion. True awakening is not transcending the bodies, it is governing them with wisdom. Energetic therapies, the restoration of balance. Since ancient times, civilizations understood that healing was not merely physical, but vibrational. Through the laying on of hands, sacred touch, and intentional presence, energy was directed to restore harmony within the subtle bodies. Hands were seen as conduits of consciousness, capable of transmitting alignment rather than force. Healing was a sacred exchange, not a technique. The healer served as a bridge, not a source. Sound and mantra were recognized as tools capable of reorganizing reality itself. In Indian, Tibetan, and indigenous traditions, vibration was understood as the foundation of matter. Chanting, drumming, and tonal frequencies altered the structure of the etheric and emotional fields. Sound penetrates where words cannot reach. It dissolves blockages through resonance rather than effort. Conscious breathing was regarded as the key to controlling life force. Breath was never merely oxygen, but the movement of prana, chi, or vital spirit. Through rhythmic and intentional breathing, the flow of energy was restored within the nadis and meridians. Breath re-educates the nervous system and the subtle fields simultaneously. To breathe consciously is to return to the present field of power. Sacred plants and herbs were used not only for their physical properties, but for their vibrational intelligence. Indigenous cultures understood that plants carry memory, frequency, and spirit. Healing ceremonies aligned human fields with the natural rhythms of Earth. The plant did not heal alone. It reminded the body how to heal itself. Nature was the original teacher. Today, these ancient practices are known as Reiki, pranic healing, vibrational therapy, and energetic meditation. Names have changed, but the principle remains the same. True healing does not come from outside intervention alone. It emerges when consciousness takes responsibility and reclaims command over the subtle bodies. Healing begins with awareness. How to care for the subtle bodies, a poetic guidance. Physical body, nourish it with awareness, let rest be sacred, and allow movement to become a dialogue between breath and matter. The etheric body, return to nature, breathe as if life itself were listening, and feel the quiet flow of vital energy remembering its path. Emotional body, welcome what arises without resistance, release what weighs without clinging, and let emotions pass like waves returning to the sea. Mental body, observe thoughts as passing clouds, cultivate inner silence, and allow clarity to emerge from stillness. Buddhic body, live in presence, act through compassion, and recognize yourself in every form you encounter. Atmic body, surrender to what you are beyond identity, align with the soul's purpose, and rest in the quiet certainty of being. If this knowledge resonated with something inside you, it's because it is not new, it is remembered. Awakening begins the moment we listen to what has always been present. If this video expanded your awareness in any way, support this work by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. Each interaction helps this knowledge reach those who are ready to remember. More teachings on consciousness, energy, and the unseen architecture of reality are coming. Stay connected. The journey has only just begun.